It all started, well, I can't really remember when it started. I was thinking about this idea about moving stones around and making one stone more powerful than the other stone, and then win a war without actually fighting anyone. And this then transmuted into the idea of stones on a tablet, square pieces, moving stones around, and you can capture areas. My name is Uncredited, and I am a board game designer. So one thing that I thought was interesting is how technology has been evolving in the last years. And particularly in the 1800s, people started with woodworking, and that really took off. You know, I could build this entire board and I can make it physical, and then why not push the pieces physically to each other and make it a dexterity, a skill, a game of skills. So I brought it's called Crokinole, and I think it was in the 1870s that I created it, and it is one of my greatest games of all time. It's so fine and round and polished. I really like it. Other games I have designed is also, well, it's kind of popular, you know. I like to gamble, I do, but I really want to have control while I gamble. So I came up with this idea with cards. I could actually use cards. So the cards, they gave me a great new opportunity to manipulate the playing field. And I started numbering the cards and thinking, but what if you take it together like a set, and you can have some cards hidden, and then you can gamble or bluff what is on your cards. So, and that is how I come up with the game of poker. The game itself isn't really interesting unless you actually have money involved, and yeah, I like to gamble. So, not all people like to gamble, so that's why I also included some dice in the later games. But the dice and cards didn't really work together, so I just removed the cards and I came up with dice, which are also hidden. You can lie about them. So it's a dice about lying, and so it became Liar's Dice. So this one time I was with my family. I have like 1,000 siblings, and we were sitting around in a cabin, a huge cabin, and we were kind of bored. So we just sat around in the sofas, and I started whispering something to the next person, and they whispered to the next, and so forth. And when it came all around to me, it was something else. So this was interesting, I thought. Yeah, this could be used for a game. So instead of whispering, we started drawing down things, and the next person had to write what they thought you had drawn. That is really interesting, and if you have a time limit as well, well, you have illustrations. That is a hilarious game, especially at late nights. And of course, you know, chess. Chess is what everybody knows, but I want to expand sometimes, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. So if you go to this site called theboardgamegeek.com, you can see a lot of my games that hasn't been received very well, but well, you can't make all successes, right? Not all my games have been received well. Like, for instance, I have a comment here from user Healy. I think he or she has been working too long. Why doesn't he or she take a break and let someone else have a chance? In particular, Hasbro ought to stop employing him or her and try some new designers for a change. Yeah, I worked for Hasbro for a while, I did. And they were really not very cooperative with my games. I had so many ideas, and so many of them were just trashed because it was too costly, it was too brave. But I went with it anyway. And you just try to design 1,000 games a year. It really that is the published games. I have thousands of ideas in my head, and it's still hard to come up with new ones. People will probably remember me for like Go and chess and stuff, but I do have some other gems in there, like Monopoly Jackpot. I took Monopoly, which people have a meh interested in, and I made it better, I think. But people saw the word Monopoly and they just skipped ahead, and it's a good game. So among my many flops, there are many hidden flops or hidden gems, I think. Yeah, sometimes I borrow ideas as well, like Looping Louie. I went and saw Star Wars and thought, hey, what about the Chewie guy? It's almost like Looping Louis, so Looping Chewie it was. And that is one of my prouder creations, well, adaptations of another game that is also a good one. Yeah, life can be hard sometimes, walking around and people don't recognize me because, I don't know, it's just sometimes you go to a game store and you have this designer's name on it and people say, oh, too bad it's uncredited. So I just step aside and let them have it. My name isn't that popular, I know, but there are some good games, I think, that I have made. And I still want to make new games because I do make a difference, I think. People have adapted like poker and make it interesting for other trick-taking games. I think I have made a good contribution to the world. But life goes on, I guess.